Dear friends, welcome for my video course on descriptive answers of TRB NET education. I will be throwing lot of models. Of course, based on this, you can always modify that, you can always put some more ideas, or you can expand or make it simple. In whatever manner you can do it. But I'm just giving you an idea how to write descriptive answer for each. Quickly I will go all important topics I would like to go. Today I am just starting with UNIT-2. UNIT-2 of that is commissions. I mean UNIT-2, the history, what is that? Yeah. History, politics, economics of education, etc. Right? So that is the idea. But today I am going to give you only one, just to check whether it is all right with you, or you want in any other manner. That also you can tell me. But then I want to give you this one. Committees and commissions contribution to teacher education. Today I am going to give you secondary education commissions and then critical questions based on that. I mean memory based as well as critical questions based on this commission, secondary education commission. So let us dive deeper into the topic. Yeah. So you are most welcome to give your suggestions also. I am giving you introduction, the body and conclusion, educational implication. That is very important. See, suppose they are asking some critical questions, especially for the commissions, you need to write the implications of secondary education to the modern education. This is how you have to formulate. Anyhow, I am giving you a model, that's all, a model. I don't say that by all means you must follow this. If you follow this, well and good. If anybody is unable to prepare so nicely at all, you can take this as a model. Even you can take this as an answer and then write it down. But how it should be structured, I am just giving you. So let us straight away enter into the topic. Right. So here we are having so many. In part A, we are starting with part A, committees and commissions, secondary education commission, Quarterly education commission, national policy of education, national commission on teachers, national curriculum framework, national knowledge commission, SPOL committee report, national curriculum framework for teacher education, justice welfare committee. Quickly we will see how we can formulate descriptive answer for this. Okay, now I am just giving you these things. With regard to secondary education commission, I am giving you the objectives, what is the background of this commission, who are the members involved, and what are the recommendations on teacher education, and also the educational implications on secondary education commission 1953. This is how I formulate the descriptive answer for you. Let us straight away enter into the topic. How to give introduction. The Secondary Education Commission, established in 1952 by the Government of India under the chairmanship of Dr. A. Lakshmana Swami Mudaliar, played a transformative role in shaping the secondary education system in post-independence India. Often referred to as the Mudaliar Commission, it aimed to reform and strengthen secondary education by identifying key areas needing improvement. The Commission's recommendations were instrumental in laying a foundation for an education system that aimed to cater to the diverse needs of Indian students while fostering national development. This is how I have given the introduction. Of course, you can change this, or you can contract it, or you can expand it as you like. But these things should be there in the introduction. And now we are going for the objectives of the Secondary Education Commission. The objectives of the Secondary Education Commission were aligned with the needs of a developing nation and sought to address the limitations of the pre-independence educational system. What are the key objectives included in Secondary Education Commission? Number one, reorganizing secondary education. One of the objectives. To create a curriculum and structure that suited the socio-economic needs of India and supported the holistic development of students. So, one of the key objectives, reorganizing secondary education in modern India or independence India. Then second point, promoting national development. Very important objective is for national development. To foster a sense of national unity and pride while addressing the diverse cultural and regional needs. This is the second objective, promoting national development. Third one, increasing practical knowledge. To incorporate vocational and practical training within the secondary education framework to prepare students for employment and self-reliance. Fourthly, very important, another important objective will be focusing on moral and civic education to instill values, ethics and civic responsibility in students, promoting a balanced education that extends beyond academics. So, 4 objectives I have given. Of course, it can be many also. I am just giving you the most important objectives. So, of course, different books will give different objectives. Yes, not different objectives. I mean, based on these 4, they will be splitting into 5, 6, 8, 10. That's up to you. But then, the most important key objectives are these: reorganizing secondary education, promoting national development, increasing practical knowledge, focusing on moral and civic education. What is the background for having this Secondary Education Commission? Following India's independence in 1947, the education system was in a state of flux, a state of change, with secondary education not adequately aligned to meet the demands of a newly independent and diverse nation. That means what? See, before independence, the entire educational system was in confusion because we were under the rule of British government, and no values, no ethics, no civic responsibility that could be given through education to our students. So, following India's independence in 1947, so education system had to be changed. It needs to be aligned to meet the demands of a newly independent, diverse nation. Formerly we were slaves, almost we were doing only clerical jobs. Now we need to give certain amount of creativity in the students with certain moral values. So you understand the background, right? The British influenced system was highly academic and theoretical, catering primarily to those seeking higher education. It neglected practical and vocational training, which was crucial for the socio-economic development of India. The Mudaliar Commission, the Secondary Education Commission or Mudaliar Commission, was formed in response to these challenges, intending to revamp, change secondary education system to create a system that would help meet India's developmental goals. This is the background why it came into existence, right? You can change this, not necessarily you must write the same thing, but the idea you must get it, yes. Who are the members involved in the commission? The commission consisted of several notable educationists, administrators and experts in the field of education, led by Dr. A. Lakshmana Swami Mudaliar, a distinguished educator and former Vice Chancellor of Madras University. The team comprised educational experts from across India who brought diverse perspectives to the challenges and requirements of secondary education. Representatives from different regions and cultural backgrounds to ensure inclusivity, to accept different aspects of our culture, all these things. Subject matter experts who provide insights into curriculum development, pedagogy and vocational training. This diverse membership enabled the Commission to address the educational needs across different Indian regions and communities effectively. So, These are the people who got involved in this secondary education commission. See, sometimes according to the question you have to include this or not. Straight away you can write. Suppose you are asked to give an essay, for example, an essay on secondary education commission with implications being set, then you must follow this. But then I am giving you all ideas, and depending on the nature of the question, you have to write or not write. Certain things you need not write, certain things you should include according to the nature of the question, that you have to see. But on my side, I will be giving all the necessary details with regard to secondary education commission. Now, the most important part of secondary education commission, namely recommendations of the secondary education commission. Some of the key recommendations were diversified curriculum. I mean different types of curriculum, different types of studies. The commission recommended a curriculum that included both academic subjects and vocational training. Very important one. Not only academic subjects, vocational training. We needed practical training. That is the idea here. This was to ensure that students had a balanced education, preparing them for both higher education and vocational pursuits. So, in the school system itself, we need to attain what we call a balanced education that helps students to go for higher education and vocational education. So, that is the idea here. For that reason, diversified curriculum. Introduction of multi-purpose schools. Another important recommendations of Secondary Education Commission was introduction of multi-purpose schools. These schools were designed to offer general education alongside specialized subjects such as agriculture, commerce and industrial training to cater to the students' varied interests and career aspirations. The third recommendation would be focus on science and mathematics. Recognizing the importance of science and technology in national development, the Secondary Education Commission emphasized science and mathematics education, preparing students for technological and scientific advancements. The fourth recommendation would be guidance and counseling services. To address students' psychological and career-related needs, the Commission recommended introducing guidance and counseling programs in schools. Another important recommendation would be improvement of teachers' conditions. The Commission recommended better training for teachers, improved working conditions, and a structured career progression to enhance teaching quality. Finally, emphasis on moral and civic education. Moral and ethical education was given importance to develop responsible citizens with a strong sense of civic duty and national pride. So we are given the recommendations. Now, very important, see, this is how they will be asking, especially in the critical questions. The implications you have to write. What are the educational implications of this Secondary Education Commission on teacher education? Along with the recommendations, you must be able to write this also. When you are preparing, you must prepare like that. Always implications of that particular commission. You give all the recommendations. After that, what are the implications of that commission with regard to modern day education? This is how you must think and then prepare your notes. What are the educational implications on teacher education? The Secondary Education Commission had significant implications for teacher education. Professional training. This Secondary Education Commission emphasized the need for professionally trained teachers. The Commission recommended pre-service or in-service training program for secondary school teachers to improve their pedagogical skills, that is teaching skills. So the professional training, of course, that is the implication given by this commission. They emphasize the need for professionally trained teachers. Then enhanced teacher status. Another implication of this commission was enhanced teacher status by recommending improvements in teachers' work environments and opportunities for career advancement. The commission aimed to attract capable individuals to the teaching profession. The third implication would be, according to me, see, these things are all according to me, I have just given, but you can just prepare in your own way also. Specialization in teacher training. Teachers were encouraged to specialize in subject-specific education to cater to the diverse curriculum recommended for secondary schools. Then focus on moral and civic responsibility. Teachers were expected to promote value-based education, with the commission recommending specific training to help teachers inculcate moral and civic values in students. Now, I think educational implications, I mean, all these things are there. I see we are giving recommendation along with recommendations for teacher education. So different points are there, 6 points are there. Now only we are going for 6 or 7 points are there. Sorry for saying this. We are going for the educational implications for secondary education. Of course, teacher education we have seen. Now, in general, what are the educational implications for secondary education? The recommendations by the commission had far-reaching implications for secondary education in India. Broader curriculum. It talked about broader curriculum. The diversified curriculum gave students access to more comprehensive educational content, preparing them for various career paths, including vocational and technical fields. Then focus on tactical knowledge. Very important implication would be they focused their attention on practical knowledge of the students. So focus on practical knowledge. With the curriculum incorporating practical subjects, students gained skills that were directly applicable to employment, fostering economic self-reliance. Then improved student support services. The inclusion of counseling services addressed students' mental health and career guidance needs, promoting a more holistic approach to education. So the student support system we talked about, the guidance and counseling in other words. Then promoting national unity. Another important implication of this commission was promoting national unity. The emphasis on moral and civic education fostered unity, responsibility and pride among students, creating a more cohesive society or united society. So how will you give the concluding remarks for this? The Secondary Education Commission of 1952-53 made critical contributions to reshaping secondary education in India. We are giving the outcomes of this one, that is what we are doing in the conclusion. By recommending a practical, inclusive and value-based curriculum, the Commission helped create a secondary education system that was better suited to India's social, economic and developmental needs. Its emphasis on vocational training, moral education and improved teacher conditions laid the foundation for a more adaptive, responsive education system. The Commission's work continues to influence educational policy, underscoring the importance of a well-rounded and socially responsible education for the future of the nation. Of course, a long conclusion part I am just giving. Not necessarily you must give. You can take 1 or 2 points until you can end the conclusion part. I hope you can do it, yes. Now, this is the summary. For each I would like to give the summary. How to keep this in mind, right? How to keep this in mind based on what we have said above, right? The summary of the secondary education, this you can memorize. You can write it down in your note and then you can just think of it again and again, or you can write your own answers by referring to books even. But anyhow, I am giving you the summary of the Secondary Education Commission for recalling the facts from your mind, so for the memory's sake. What is the summary of the Secondary Education Commission? Established when 1952 under Dr. A. Lakshmana Swami Mudaliar. Objectives: reform secondary education to meet national needs What are the national needs? We have already given it. We have given the list. Just see that. I mean, for memory's sake, I am just giving you. Focus areas. What are the focus areas of this commission? Curriculum, vocational training. That curriculum means broad-based curriculum, diversified curriculum, vocational training, moral education. Very important focus areas are these. Then objectives: reorganized curriculum to support socio-economic development. It promoted national unity and practical knowledge. It emphasized moral, civic and vocational training. What is the background? Post-independence education was theoretical, British influenced. So, it also neglected vocational training, creating a skills gap. There were no skills, only theoretical aspects were given. So that is why it had to be changed. The secondary education had to be changed, because it did not teach skills. That is in the background you are just giving that. Commission aimed to align education with the developmental goals. So India need to develop into a very prosperous nation. So the aims of secondary education should align itself with the developmental goals of the nation. So this is the background for creating this commission. Who are the members? Led by Mudaliar, included educationists, administrators and experts, diverse representation for inclusivity and curriculum development. So different people from different states have been included in this for inclusivity and curriculum development. What are the key recommendations? Diversified curriculum, blending academics and vocational education. Multi-purpose schools offering specialized subjects, agriculture, commerce, etc. Multi-purpose schools. Then focus on science, maths and technological advancements. Guidance and counseling services for career and mental health support. Better teacher training, improved work conditions, moral and civic education to instill values and responsibility. What is the impact on teacher education? Mandatory professional training, pre-service and in-service. Specialized teacher training for a diversified curriculum. Enhanced status of teachers, improving recruitment and retention. What is the impact on secondary education? How you will give the points in the summary form. Broader curriculum for diverse career options. Practical knowledge focus. Fostering employment and self-reliance. Improve student support services, counseling and guidance. Promoted national unity through value-based education. These are all implications of secondary education for modern education in India. Conclusion: significant impact on India's secondary education. Practical, inclusive and value-based approach. Foundation for vocational training, moral education and teacher improvement. Continues to influence educational policies in India. You can write down this summary and then you can expand that. This is a practice for you actually. In a way, this is the practice. First write down all these points in the notebook and then try to put your own words into this based on the above discourse, the above points which I have given. Read it again and again and then keep this summary in your mind or write it down, and based on the above points write down your own ideas here. It will be a very good essay for you when this comes, appears in the exam. Like that I will go on giving quickly and steadily and quickly. I try to finish as early as possible, right? Now some critical, see the questions will be based on memory, understanding. This is lower order skills questions. Then higher order questions, analysis, synthesis, problem solving, all these things. Now I try to give some important questions, and of course I will be giving that critical questions also. I am just formulating them in a separate video. That also will be, I will be giving it. Now go for these questions. First of all, understand this question, memory level as well as understanding, and critical questions also. So I am giving you a model for that. Who was the chairman of the Secondary Education Commission? It is Dr. A. Lakshmana Swami Mudaliar. Dr. Mudaliar chaired the commission, which is also known as the Mudaliar Commission. What was the Secondary Education Commission? When was the Secondary Education Commission established? 1952. The commission was formed in 1950 to address post-independent secondary education reforms. What was one primary goal of the commission? That is to focus on vocational education. The commission aimed to make education more practical and vocationally oriented. The commission is commonly referred to as what? That is the Mudaliar Commission, of course, that we know. Named after its chairman, Dr. A. Lakshmanaswamy Mudaliar, this was often referred to as Mudaliar Commission, the Secondary Education Commission. What was a major recommendation by the Commission for Secondary Education? Very important with regard to curriculum, that is diversified curriculum. The Commission recommended a curriculum that included both academic and vocational subjects. So that is called a diversified curriculum. Which type of schools did the Commission recommend creating? Of course, we already seen that multi-purpose schools. These schools would offer specialized training in subjects like agriculture, commerce and industry. Which subjects were emphasized for their importance in national development? Science and mathematics. Of course, they wanted to give more importance to science and mathematics subjects. These subjects were deemed considered essential for technological advancements. The Commission emphasized the importance of which type of education to build a civic responsibility. That is a moral and civic education they wanted to give, of course. It aimed to foster civic duty and national pride in students. What was one of the goals of the Commission regarding teachers? Improving teacher training. The Commission recommended professional training for teachers to improve teaching quality, very important one. Right. What educational approach did the Commission discourage? What education approach did the Commission discourage? Theoretical only basis. That's the purpose of this diversified curriculum. Vocational training and all they wanted to give, because our students need to have practical, hands-on experience in so many subjects, and then they must develop their skills. That's very important. So they hated a theoretical only approach. The Commission advocated for a balance between theoretical and practical education. Both should go together according to the Commission. Which of the following was not a recommendation of the Commission? That is promotion of English only education. It is not a recommendation of the Commission. Promotion of English only education. The Commission recommended a diversified curriculum not restricted to English only education. Why was vocational training emphasized? To make students financially self-reliant. They need not be slaves to others. Rather, they should stand on their own legs. That is the idea. Why vocational training emphasized in this commission? To make students financially self-reliant. Vocational training aimed to prepare students for employment opportunities. Which of the following did the commission support for students' balanced development? That is a curriculum combining academics and vocational training. This approach was meant to address diverse educational needs. Who were members of the commission? Indian educationists and administrators. The commission included Indian experts to represent diverse perspectives. How did the commission aim to instill national pride? Through moral and civic education. They wanted to instill national pride through moral and civic education. This aspect aimed to develop responsible, proud citizens. What was the commission's stance on teacher specialization? That is, teachers should specialize in subject areas. Specialization was encouraged to support the diverse curriculum. Teachers should specialize in subject areas. That is what they wanted the teachers to have. Right. Multi-purpose schools were introduced for what? For providing diverse educational pathways. These schools catered to students' varied interest. What change was recommended for teachers' work conditions? Improving working conditions. Better conditions were recommended to attract quality teachers. Which area did the commission emphasize for preparing students for future work? Vocational training. The training aimed to make students more employable. Which of the following best describes the commission's impact? Foundational in secondary education reform. The commission's work was crucial for secondary education improvement. Foundational in secondary education. That is basic. That was basic after independence. What was the ultimate goal of the secondary education commission's recommendations? That is to create self-reliant, responsible citizens. That was the ultimate goal of the secondary. This is a critical question actually. higher order based, higher order skills, questions with the higher order skills. So it is a practical here, problem solving or what you call evaluation, anything, that skill comes here. What was the ultimate goal of the Secondary Education Commission's recommendations? To create self-reliant, responsible citizens. The Commission aimed to support students' all-rounded development and employability. So dear friends, thank you very much for being with me. So here I have given a model for the descriptive answer on one of the aspects, one of the commissions, namely Secondary Education Commission. Likewise, we will go slowly and steadily for all commissions, for all the topics in this unit, second unit. Likewise, we will be giving first unit, third unit, every other thing as early as possible. We would like to finish. Please go through that and prepare your own answers. Perhaps that would be the best one. It is not to memorize as such. You just understand the meaning of each concept, everything, and then try to put it in your own words. And some of the points I am giving, and those points you take down and then expand expand those points according to your interest, using your notes in the books or anything. But if it is helpful, you take as it is, no problem. That also you can do, but you change the sentences, everything according to your interest. Make it very simple, as much as possible for you. So thank you very much, dear friends, for your presence. Let us meet in other video lectures for the descriptive answers. This is one model I have given. You can also suggest to me which are the areas you need, perhaps through suppose if you join the group or something like WhatsApp group and all, slowly I will ask for it, I think. And at that time, if you are giving some topics, I will prepare and give it to you like that. I think within 3 or 4 days, that announcement may be there. I am consulting some of the students, and then they will be giving me some good suggestions. Based on that, we will do that. But I will be giving, descriptive answers for each and everything at the moment. But after some time, more important, as early as possible, we will finish it. So thank you for your presence. God bless you abundantly. Most welcome to give your suggestions. What I should do, you can give through your suggestions. Most welcome. I am at your disposal to prepare you for TRB PG, this TRB college TRB education. Of course, I will be giving for PG TRB also what you call the psychology questions, all these things. That of course I have prepared that also. I will be giving it soon. When the dates are announced, I will start giving that. But now TRB, college TRB, I am just preparing you. Thank you very much, dear friends. God bless you abundantly.